Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Meet Davidson Ambrose. Davidson's video very nearly didn't get made. In fact, the first half of it languished. Guest appearance from my other cat there. As I was saying, the first part of it languished untouched because it never really came to a proper conclusion until, well, watch the video and see. Davidson first introduced himself to Celia back in April. He said, "Thanks for accepting my request. It's nice to meet you. My name is David and I'm from London, but I'm currently in Sicily, Italy, working on a contract. I work as a rig engineer. That'll be unusual, won't it? How about you, my dear? What's your name and where are you from?" "Hi," she said. "Nice to meet you. I'm Celia. I live in Durham in England. I'm an administrator in the admissions office of one of our colleges." "Wow, you have a very lovely name," he said. "It's a pleasure to meet you too. Sounds like a very great job. How long have you been working as an administrator?" "I enjoy it," said Celia. "I have lovely colleagues. I've been there nearly 20 years. "Oh, that's very nice," he said. "It's rare to find an amazing and hard-working lady like you." "Which part of London are you from?" she asked. "I have been working as a rig engineer for 28 years now," he said. "I live in Bradford." "I thought you said you lived in London," said Celia. "Yeah, I also have a house there too," he said. "Which part of London?" she asked. "Lewisham," he said. "Are you married? And do you currently have kids?" "Do I currently have kids?" asked Celia. "What a strange question. My husband died 2 years ago. He was a lot older than me." "Oh, that's sad," he said. "I'm so sorry about that. I guess it's not been very easy with you." "We were very happy together," said Celia. "I have a son, Dan. He's in Australia with his girlfriend." "Wow, that's very nice," he said. "How old is your son?" "He's 25, said Celia. "I was just 20 when I had him. Because my husband was a lot older, we decided to have our family as soon as we got married." "Lovely! He's already a grown-up man," he said. "He is," said Celia. "I'm very proud of him. What about you? Do you have children?" "Wow, that's very nice," he said. "How old are you this year?" "Yes, I have a son. He's going to be 13 years old this year." "I'm 45, said Celia. "He lives with a nanny," he said. "Oh, that's nice. I'm 56 years old." "What happened to his mother?" asked Celia. "His mother lives with another man now. And by the way, we're divorced. It's been 3 years now since my divorce. She doesn't care about us anymore, not even our son. She's from China." "That's really sad," said Celia. "It's a long story, my dear," he said. "Yeah, it's really sad. Life is full of misery, but life must move on. He's all I have, and I love him so much. I have been away from him for 2 years now, and I know he misses me so much. I just want to finish my contract on time here in Italy so I can go back home to him. How about your family? I mean your parents. Do they also live with you in London?" "My mum lives close to me," said Celia. "I told you, I live in Durham." I guess it's hard to remember where your potential victims live when you have, well, several on the go at the same time. "I have just few weeks left here to finish my contract here in Sicily," he said. "I've been here for 2 years now. You know I work in the middle of the sea." "Oh my goodness," said Celia. "I don't think I'd like that. I like to be on land. Have you been on the rig for 2 years without a holiday?" "I haven't been on land for 2 years now," he said. "Believe me, it's beautiful at the sea here, but it's also terrible and dangerous because of pirates here." "Pirates?" said Celia. "That sounds frightening." "Yes, my dear. I don't to leave here until I finish my contract. Yes, my dear, they're very terrible and dangerous." "That's awful," said Celia. "I hope you're staying safe." "Their major aim to come and kidnap foreigners here and steal our equipment for working." "I'm scared. I must tell you the truth." "I'm not surprised you're scared," said Celia. "It sounds terrifying." "Yes, for now, my dear, I'm safe," he said. "I just can't wait to finish my contract here on time here so I can go back home. We have lost a lot of our colleagues here at the sea. I'm just so doing everything I can just to be safe because I want to go back home to meet my son." You really do need to get home so you can be with your son. He needs you, said Celia. Yes, my dear, I know he needs me very much. Thank you. You're such a sweet and amazing lady. I think he might change his opinion in a little while. I'm really glad I met you, he said. As I come back home, I would like to come meet you and spend time with you if you don't mind. Yes, I'd like that, said Celia. I would like that too, my dear, he said, and then, showing that he was still in full-on scammer mode. How's the weather condition over there? It's okay, she said. Still a bit cold. This was April. But the sun is shining. What's it like where you are? That's nice, he said. I hope you have enough clothing to keep you warm. What a strange thing to say, said Celia. Aren't you allowed to take many things with you to the rig? She continued. It's always cold here at the sea, he said, but the weather is perfect. Not really, my dear, but what's most important is that I take equipment I used in working. It's a very big contract. I signed the contract with a private company. Which company do you work for? She asked. E&I Spa Limited Oil and Gas, he said. It's a private company. And then, back to scammer mode. What time is it over there now? It's nearly 1 o'clock, said Celia. Oh, that's nice, he said, and still in scammer mode. Have you had lunch yet? I really should get back to work, said Celia. I think I've taken over an hour for lunch break. I'll catch you again later. All right, my dear, he said, although we just got to know each other. Well, I will appreciate us being good friends in sincerity, honesty and trust, to share ideas and discuss about more issues as we talk more about ourselves, and I believe as time goes on there may be something great for us in the future. What do you think? All right, you go back to work. Make sure you eat something for lunch before going back to work. I'll see you. Our man's stunning line in conversational skills continued the next day. They made a bit of small talk, and then in the evening he said, I'm very glad to hear that you had such a great day today. And how about dinner? Have you eaten anything yet? Have you eaten? Asked Celia. Do you have some kind of obsession with food? That's not the first time you've asked me if I've eaten. Not yet, he said. I just closed from work, and I'm about to have dinner now. No, not at all, he said. I just want to make sure you're okay. So, what did you have for dinner? Starting to wax lyrical, our man continued. You know, right now, I'm really happy talking to you. I haven't been able to communicate with anyone on the internet for long. Oh dear, said Celia. Why not? I've just been very busy, and I haven't had time to make friends. And towards the end of this video, you'll see why he doesn't make friends. Thank you for everything, he said. You're such a sweet and amazing woman. I think I'd feel very isolated if I was stuck on an oil rig, she said. I'd be desperate to get off. I can't just get off without completing my contract here, he said. Yes, I understand, said Celia. I'd hate that. I actually plan on retiring after completing this contract, he said. What will you do after you retire? She asked. Well, I actually plan on moving to China to invest. But seeing that I just found a beautiful lady like you, I don't know if that would be possible anymore. Unless maybe you'll be able to move to China with me. I plan on investing in a cars business. Oh my goodness, said Celia. I've never been to China. Why China? Couldn't you set up a car business in England? China is such a great and developed country, he said. Trust me, you're going to love it when you travel there. Did you miss something there, Celia? I think that might have been the proposal. Seeing that there's nothing left for me in London, I would love to set up a car business in England, but I think China would be better. Why is there nothing left for you in London? She asked. That's a sad thing to say. After my divorce and everything, I just feel there's nothing left for me. I barely have friends. I just love keeping my life private. So obviously, he wants to move to China, where that wife that he's just divorced lives. That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it, folk? Back in scammer mode, and our man asked, what are your hobbies and religious belief? I don't have any religious belief, said Celia. What are yours? Oh, I see. That's nice, he said. My religion is Roman Catholic, and I'm a Christian. I suppose you would be if you're Roman Catholic. My hobbies are reading, listening to music, sport, swimming. Do they have churches in China? She asked. I'm not very sure about that, but I think so, he said. What are your hobbies? What kind of music do you like? She asked. I'm a classical music lover. I love going to concerts in the cathedral here in Durham, or did before COVID. I'm not sure I really have hobbies. I don't really have time. That's very nice, he said. I love reggae, raps, and much of blues. He asked a few more questions and kept saying, that's nice. And then he got on to, do you like swimming? I've never really done much swimming, she said, except on holiday at the seaside. Wow, that's nice, he said. Seems you're very good at swimming. What? Said Celia. I love swimming a lot, he said, but that's only when I'm free and at home. Are you going to ask me lots of questions so you can just say that's nice without bothering to read my answers? She said. What other things do you like? He asked. LOL, you're very funny. Not telling you, she said. I don't think you're going to read the answers, are you? Of course I am, he said. You really make me happy. I like gardening, she said. I like spending time with Mum and my friends. Do you have a garden? He asked. Seems you have a lot of friends. See, she said, you aren't reading my answers, are you? I knew you weren't. Typical man. They discussed work and pay, and Celia said, you must look forward to the end of the contract then, so you can get paid. Yes, my dear, he said, I must do complete and clean job for them. I'm sure you always do that, she said. They know I'm very good at what I do. That's why they gave me the contract, he said. I really cannot wait to complete it. Do you have an office as an administrator? Yes, she said. I have an office in the main college building. There are 3 of us in the main office, and lots of other staff as well. And are those 3 very close to you? He asked. What do you mean? Said Celia. Sorry, I meant the other 2 working with you at the main office. How close are they to you? Celia thought of lots of answers to that question, but most of them weren't YouTube friendly. We're just friends, she said. Is that what you mean? Yes, that's what I meant, he said. With hindsight, I wish I'd told him that they were at least 2 metres apart and maintaining social distancing, but I didn't think of that at the time. And then, of course, our man's thoughts turned to that usual scammer obsession. Would you mind sending me a picture of you, my dear? Don't you have my picture? Asked Celia, sending him the only one that she has, the one that's on Facebook. Thank you, my dear, he said. You put a smile on my face. Yes, I do have pictures, but not much. I barely take pictures because of my job. Could you send me another? He said. What's wrong with the one I just sent you? Asked Celia. Don't you like it? Of course I do like, but it's the same one you upload your profile, he said. I want another different, beautiful picture of you. It's the only one I have, she said. I don't understand this obsession with selfies. I hate photos of myself. LOL, that's very funny, he said. Why would you hate photos of yourself? You're an angel. And I hope you spotted what he did there. Emotional blackmail. I want another different, beautiful picture of you. They made a little more small talk about the pandemic and about Celia's son, and then he suggested that they move to Hangouts. They discussed a few more things over the next few days, and then got to discussing about his son, who's looked after by the nanny, and then completely randomly he said, What did you eat for dinner? What is this obsession you have with what I'm eating? She asked. Don't they feed you on the rig? I'd just like to know, if you don't mind, he said. Of course we do feed over here. We're mostly used to eating seafood here. I can just see him dangling his little fishing line off the top of an oil rig. He started asking her lots of questions, and then got on to the subject of skydiving. We could go skydiving together when I come back home, he said, but that would be in China. I'm not going skydiving here or in China, said Celia. LOL, he said, you're really very funny. OK, if you say so. What's your favourite place in the world? I'll stay on the ground and video you, she said. My home. What's yours? Of course, I'd be very happy, he said. Oh, I see. That's nice. The Pyramid of Egypt and Spain. My next interest is in Dubai. I'd love to travel, said Celia. I hope to get to Australia to see Dan and Louise sometime. Yeah, I've been to the States, Brazil, Germany and Japan, with few I can't remember, because obviously you forget where you've been, don't you? I guess you travel a lot with your work, she said. Then I was still with my wife, he replied. They talked about visiting Dan in Australia, and Celia said it might be better to wait till they were in China, because they'd be closer then. And by the way, he said, how long have Dan been in Australia? That's a very lovely idea. Yes, I think so. But tell him we'll be coming to visit. I want it to be a surprise. Nearly 7 years, she said. A long time. I'm really proud of him, he replied. Tell him we're coming, said Celia. I don't think I should tell him till we know we're coming. I meant, he said, you shouldn't tell him we'll be coming to visit him. And that's a classic scammer technique, trying to stop you telling members of your family who you're talking to online, so that they can't warn you that you're talking to a scammer. And then things started going downhill. He kept asking her seemingly random questions. He said, and I'm falling. You're unique. What's your favourite colour? Is this a game of 20 questions or something? Said Celia. I don't understand what you mean, said our man. You keep asking me random questions. He'd asked her all sorts. Is it wrong for me to know the kind of things you like doing and the ones you don't? I'd prefer to have a proper conversation, said Celia. It sounds like you're working your way down a list of questions one of your mates gave you. And what do you mean by proper conversation? Asked our man, who has no idea what a proper conversation is, because obviously he was working his way down a list of questions that one of his mates had given him. How proper do you want our conversation to be? I really do not understand you. What's your point? Maybe I'm just tired, she said. I should probably go to bed and read. I'm beginning to have a feeling if I'm talking to the real Celia. What's that supposed to mean? She asked. I want to see you on video, he said. Send me a current picture of what you're doing right now. OK, she said. Show me yourself first, since you're the doubter. Just hold on, he said. I need to get a good signal. So she called him, and he didn't answer. There's no point in calling me when I'm not online, she said. I'll call you tomorrow when you're online. And who on earth do you think I am if you think I'm not the real Celia? That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I'll call you tomorrow, but I'll tell you now that it's over between us. I could never have a relationship with a man that's talked to me the way you have. Hello, he said the next day. I've been very busy with work. I haven't been able to get a good signal here to see who you really are. I'm really not satisfied that I'm having a conversation with the Celia. Send me more pictures of you of what you've been doing. The other day I told you to send pictures of your big, beautiful garden, but you didn't. It gives me a lot of reasons to doubt. I hope you're well and that you had a great day today. Well, for now, I wish you a lovely night and sweet dreams. And continuing to hedge his bets, Good morning, beautiful Celia, he said the next morning. I hope your morning is as radiant as your smile. Just in case she was real. Go away, she said. I don't want to talk to you. Look, my lady, he said. I'm very sorry if I said anything that might have gotten you upset. I was really curious who you are, and I felt I was talking to the rest Celia. Because you couldn't send me pictures of you or videos of you, I just wanted to know what I have gotten myself into, because I really like you a lot. You see, she said, you're doing it again, and you won't even talk to me on Hangouts. Go away. I want to hear your English accent. I'm really sorry, OK, he said. Sometimes I just wonder why you couldn't send me a picture of what I ask you, including your garden, or what you're doing. Because I don't trust you, she said. You won't even speak to me on Hangouts. I think you're the one that's lying. And he sent her a message in Portuguese. Why don't you trust, he said. To tell you the truth, I don't trust you either. What? She said. Goodbye, you're about to be blocked. And then he said something else in Portuguese. If you won't call and let me hear your English accent, I don't want anything to do with you, she said. You aren't English, are you? I'm at work right now, he said, but as soon as I'm done, I'll call you on video. Liar, she said. You just don't get how rig engineer operate here, he said. Of course I'm English. OK, she said. You have one last chance to show your face on video and let me hear your English accent, and I'll bet you won't do it. I think you're just the cleaner or canteen operative on the rig, aren't you, pretending to be one of the engineers? All right, he said. I'll definitely do that today when I'm done. I'm also very desperate to see your beautiful face and hear your accent too. LOL, he said. You're very funny, my dear. Being a rig engineer has been my whole life. OK, she said. Let me know when you're ready to call. I'll definitely, I promise, he said. What are you doing at the moment? He asked. Arguing with you, she said, and I really should go and do something more useful. Bye for now. I hope you realise that I do have the advantage over them. Although obviously I'm not Celia, I can appear on video, and I do have an English accent. The next day dawned. "You didn't call, did you?" said Celia. "Coward, liar, goodbye." And she tried to call him twice, and he didn't answer. "Hello, amazing woman," he said. "I'm very sorry I haven't been able to call you. I've just been very busy with work and haven't had time to reach out to my computer." This game of cat and mouse continued for several days, as you can see, until finally one day he answered. "I can't hear you," said Celia, "or see you. You're playing silly buggers with me again, aren't you? You're a coward." "Give me a moment, honey," he said. "It's the network." "You have one last chance," she said. "Then you're blocked. Coward." "Stop saying that," he said. "You were the one that insisted on video," she said. "So far you've used every excuse you can think of not to appear. And you still aren't going to appear, are you? You're just playing stupid games with me, aren't you? And you are a coward." This pointless argument continued because I was just having too much fun. "You know how it is in the sea," he said, "where there's no signal, and yet see the way you handle things." "Stop making excuses," she said. And then he called her. "Turn your camera on," she said. "Look directly at me and talk to me. But you won't, will you? Because the reason you accuse me of not being who I say I am is because you aren't who you say you are. You're a coward and a liar." "If you don't want to be my friend, I get it," he said. "Since you don't want to understand anything, instead of calling me a coward, mind your tongue and have some manners." The argument continued until finally he showed his true colours and said, "Expletive, you old hag, dirty old goat, useless bastard, damn you." And that was the end. Celia didn't talk to him again. And I thought that was the end of Davidson Ambrose. I didn't make the video at the time because he never asked her for money and there didn't seem much point. And then, in July, well, you're going to have to watch the next video because I didn't realise how long this one was going to be. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please like it, please share it, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you again in another Keep Safe on the Net video on YouTube.